Hi guys, welcome back to Bows Fan TV, and today we're back with another video doing the match preview for tomorrow's game against Killester Donnycarney in the FAI Cup second round at Dalymount Park, even though we are the designated away side for this fixture. Yeah, we spoke about how last week it was so important we got that win against Galway. The first half was quite frustrating, but the second half, we came out swinging, got 3 goals and got a really big win in the game in hand. But look, this game has a bit of a different feel to it. It's a cup game, it's still important, but it's against lower league opposition. Killester Donnycarney, they're out of season at the moment. They finished the 24-25 Leinster Senior League campaign in 8th. And yeah, look, it's a different game really to what Galway was last week. But like I said, it's still important that we go out and put in a professional performance and get through to the next round. But yeah, now Killester, they're going to be up for it. It's one of the biggest games for a lot of their players and their careers. They'll be really excited to play at Dalymount against ourselves, a Premier Division team. Going to be really up for it. But it's up to us just to kind of turn up and show our quality and get the job done and get through to the next round. But look, it is up to us to do that. So look, onto the team selection. That's a big talking point, I suppose. How strong are we going to go? I don't really it's hard to call really, because you don't know, are we going to go strong? Are we going to rotate? I'd like to see us go as strong as possible anyway. Even though you are playing a weaker opposition, it's still a cup game, it's still a big deal. You want to get through to the next round and take it from there and go all the way. But I would like to see players like Devoy and Clark, I think I'd like to see them keep their place. They're on really great form, and I'd like to see them carry on. You're looking at some of the younger players as well. Reece Brennan hasn't got on the pitch in the last couple of games, but I think he might start this game. You're also looking at players like Asagi, Marcus Strauds. Could they even get a nod? Who knows? I think Casper will be in goal, and maybe could Talbot get the nod? Could he get a run out? But I think Casper's going to stay in goal. I think he's on good form. He pulled off a couple of very good saves last week. So, yeah, I'd keep him in goal. Up front then, Douglas James Taylor got himself off the mark in his home debut last week. I'd like to see him stay up front just so he can continue to settle in. But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Whelan get a run out just because it was lack of game time. And it could be a good opportunity for him to score a couple of goals and get his confidence up and running. It could be a good opportunity as well for the likes of Connor Parsons coming back from injury. He came on for a bit there last week, and it's a good opportunity for him now to maybe get a start and play a good few minutes to get himself up and running after a long layoff with injury. Could we see Keith Buckley play? That midfield hasn't really changed much over the last few weeks, but you could have maybe a change in there just to freshen things up a little bit. We spoke about the defence. Could Osagi get in? You probably will see a couple of changes back there. Cornwall went off with an injury. So did Kavanagh. He didn't go off, but he had to play on with a knock. So we probably will see 1 or 2 changes back there. But look, I think whatever team we put out, it should be more than strong enough to get the result here and get us into the next round. So yeah, I'm gonna go with a 4-0 win. It could be more. Who knows? If we have our shooting boots on, and we're as clinical as we were last week. But look, I'd be surprised if it's not a routine enough victory here. We get into the next round. Look, no disrespect to Killester Donnycarney, it's a big game for them, and I'm sure they'll give it their all and make a good fist of it, but there's bigger fish to fry for us now over the coming weeks. We've got that big game up in the Brandywell then to come after this, and then when we play Drogheda as well after that. So there's 2 huge games now in the race for Europe. So look, it'll be all eyes on that after this one. So yeah, all we have to do here is just put in a professional performance, get the result, and I'll hopefully see a few young lads come in, make an impact. Likes of Brennan, Strauds, Asagi potentially. So yeah, that's what we want to see. We want to see that the young lads get a run out. A few players that have been on the fringes as well, like we mentioned, Parsons, Bucko, Whelan, maybe they'll come in and have good games. But yeah, I'm going to go with a 4-0 win, get the job done, put in a good performance, and then we can focus on a couple of big games in the league to come after that. So yeah, that's where I'll end it. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, comment down below everything ahead of the game, score predictions, and I'll see you for the reaction the day after. Bye bye.